All right, and we are back here on the GSMC football podcast. And for the second part of the show, we're now going to preview the early window games for Sunday. Just went through the Saturday games, so let's go through them. So actually, we do have the NFC South games in the 1 o'clock window. So you got the Bucks and the Panthers, and the Falcons and the Saints. So how the scenarios work here is, the Bucks just got to win and they're in. The Saints, they make it on a, there's still wild card scenarios, of course. But the Saints, if they win and the Bucks lose, the Saints win the South. And then if the Falcons win and the Bucks lose, then the Falcons win the South. Baker Mayfield was dealing with a rib injury this week, but Todd Bowles said he is going to play, so keep an eye on that. Yeah, the Bucks coming off a disappointing game against the Saints. All the Bucks really had to do was just win, and take care of business. And then the Saints were like, "Hey, we're still, we still got talent on our team." Derek Carr played a good game. So the Bucks are playing the Panthers, so I think they should win. But I did say this earlier in the week. I really just don't trust the Bucks. I feel like this is a game they could definitely lose. I don't know why. I just have a weird feeling. I'm still going to take them to win. The line started at 5.5, or actually no, the line started at 6 and it went down to 4.5. And the Panthers, they got embarrassed last week, losing 26-0 to the Jags, to C.J. Beathard. I feel like I don't know. I'm going to take the Bucks to win, but I might take the Panthers with the points, just because I don't know. I just really don't trust the Bucks right now. And this is literally after praising them for the last several weeks and how Baker Mayfield's been playing. I finally picked them last week and then they lose. So if I pick them again, they might lose again, and then they're going to miss out on the division. And then when it comes to the Saints and the Falcons, these teams played a couple weeks ago. Well, actually, I think it was more than that. When did they play? Oh, wait. They played in Week 12. Falcons won 24-15. I feel like the Saints get revenge here and they win this game. I know Taylor Heineke was a little banged up, so I don't know what his current status is for this game. Because if not, then it might end up being Desmond Ridder that ends up getting the start. So, obviously the Bears coming off of that loss, or Falcons coming off of that loss to the Bears. So Heineke's questionable. Yeah, he still remains limited. But yeah, if it's not Heineke, it's going to end up being Desmond Ridder. But I would still take the Saints. I don't even trust them taking them as a favorite at home. Because, the Falcons, they got playmakers on their offense, so they could definitely put up points. But, yeah, I don't know. Right now I got the Saints winning and covering. So, then we move on. We'll go to the... now we'll talk about the AFC South. So, the Jags 9-7, Titans are 5-11. These two teams actually played, in that Saturday night last year in Jacksonville. Josh Dobbs was the quarterback. That was for the division, basically. And the Jags were able to get that win. Trevor Lawrence is banged up. I feel like he is going to play in this game. But even if he does, he's still going to be hurt. Since the Bengals game, he's been getting hurt constantly. I think the Jags should win, but it's going to be a tough game. In the spread pool, the line was 5.5. Well, it started at 5.5. And then since it's gone down to 3.5, I'm taking the Titans with the points. I think the Jags still win, but I really don't trust them right now. So I'm gonna take the Titans. they cover, but I think the Jags still win. But again, don't feel great about it. A lot of these games I just don't really know. Then you got the other games here. The Lions and the Vikings. Right now the Lions are 3.5-point favorites. I mean, the Lions are kind of locked into the playoff spot that they're in. I don't know if they're going to be playing their starters the whole game. So I got to see what the who ends up being active, who ends up being inactive for this game. Because if the Lions sit a bunch of their starters, then I'm going to end up switching to the Vikings. But right now, Lions win and cover. We'll just go with that, but subject to change. And then 2 more games here. You got the Bengals and the Browns. The Browns are going to be sitting their starters. I mean, I don't feel great about picking this game. Actually, the starting quarterback in this game is going to be Jeff Driscoll. He's going to be starting this game. The Browns picked him up and they're starting him. So I mean, I guess I'll take the Bengals to win. 7 is a big number. So I don't know. I know it's 5.5 in my spread pool. Take the Browns with the points. Bengals win though. And then finally you got the Patriots and the Jets. Wow. And this actually could very well be Bill Belichick's last game, coaching for the Patriots. Which is crazy to think about. That we are this could possibly be an end of an era. I like the Patriots to win this game. They, continue their dominance against the Jets. I don't really know what else to say about this game, but the Patriots still own the Jets, and I think that continues. I'd be surprised if anything else happens. I mean, if the Jets end up winning, Tom Brady ends up losing his final regular season game with the Patriots to a divisional opponent. Maybe Bill Belichick does the same thing, loses to the Jets. Obviously, the Patriots played another game in the playoffs and lost to the Titans, that year in 2019, because the Patriots were going for the 2 seed, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins said, "Nope, you're not getting that. You're not getting that in the bye," and they ended up losing. Fitzpatrick throwing that touchdown to Mike Gesicki for the win, and then the Patriots ended up losing in the wild card round against the Titans. Logan Ryan getting that pick 6, the last pass Tom Brady ever threw as a Patriot. But yeah, I think the Patriots do win here because the Jets just they just cannot beat the Patriots no matter what. Maybe next year will be different, but it's I think Bill Belichick wins, and if this is it, he goes out on a high note. So, but yeah, so to run through the picks again, so right now, taking the Panthers with the points, taking the Lions laying the points, taking the Saints 3-point favorites over the Falcons, taking them. I'll take the Browns with the 7, but the Bengals still win. Patriots I'll take as a 1.5-point favorite. Titans I'll take with the points, but I think the Jags still win. But yeah, that's but then like the rest of the games are all at in the later window here. Yeah, there's only there's 6 early window games, and then there's not including the Sunday night. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. There's 7 late window games, and then 8 including the Sunday night game. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, I think the Bucs, I don't trust them, but I think they should win. But I could definitely see something happening because the Panthers, both of their wins have come at home. So I expect them to play a little bit better than they did. Well, I expect them to play. They should play a lot better than they did against the Jaguars, because that was just, I don't know what that was. But we talked about this yesterday. I mean, they've struggled. They put up 30 points against the Packers, and then they can't, score anything against C.J. Beathard and the Jags. So, and the last time they played the Bucs, it was a close game. It was 21-18. They could have pulled off an upset there, but Mike Evans had a big game there, so he's going to need to have one here. And Baker's going to have to bounce back after a rough game against the Saints. They did get Chris Godwin more involved. Chris Godwin actually had a monster game last week against the Saints. How many receiving yards did he have? Let's see. Chris Godwin last week had. Oh, I don't know why I thought he had. Oh, I guess it was the week before, the couple weeks before that against Green Bay at 155. But yeah, he had 3 receptions for 81 yards and a touchdown. But yeah, that was towards like the end of the game. The Packers game is the one I was thinking of, because he had he had over 150 yards. But yeah, I mean, listen, the Bucs should win, but again, who knows? And then the Saints, I mean, they still have a path to the playoffs if they, if they win and are eliminated from the AFC South contention, because you still got Seattle who could lose, you got Green Bay that could lose. They still got a shot, even if the Bucs win, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And if the Saints, if they could have played like how they played against the Bucs on Sunday, they'd be in a much better position. But they've been one of those inconsistent teams all season. So before we go into our second break of the show, I just want to remind you guys once again to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the following link. That is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. Again, that really helps the show, makes the show more interactive between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. Again, that is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. And as always, it is displayed on the ticker on the bottom of the show segment down below. So, when we come back, we'll preview the late window games. These are the games with pretty much all have playoff implications involved in them with teams. So except maybe like one or two. But yeah, that is what we will. That's what we'll preview when we come back from our second break of the show. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.